Hello everyone and welcome back to Wargame Red Dragon. I have a 1v1 for you guys today on Plunging Valley. I'm playing as Grim Soldier against Major John Hawkwood, although I usually do see John Hawkwood more up around Lieutenant Colonel or even Low Colonel at times. I think Elkhole is where he lives most of the time. There have been some more experienced players coming back into ranked lately and taking everyone's elo for themselves, and I think John Hawkwood might have run into such a phenomenon. Now, I am playing, I believe, DGC Moto. So the heaviest tank we should see is a Leopard Verkenning. I have a Patu Tiger over here, and this was really goofy. It's like, you know, MI-24P, oh, hello, I have Fliegerfaust, and we're going to blind this thing so he's not going to be able to see me, and he'll have to pull back, and I'll be able to get into the Foxtrot set of town. And I have 4 Deckensgruppe here, because even when we're moto, we're going to take Deckensgruppe. I enjoy them quite a lot, and I'm going for a Bravo push. Now, triple CV from John Hawkwood. We were talking about it the other day, and I think it was Fenor who did that against me one time, and, well, I think it could have worked out decently well, and there were just some trading issues there, but John Hawkwood and I were talking in Discord and had remarked about it earlier, so I wasn't terribly surprised to see it. The issue with it, in my opinion, is nothing to do with, you know, the tick that it gets you. +3 is really nice. I started 1 CV, right? So he's going to be ticking +3 on me for a little while, but it has everything to do with how many forces you have on the field. We saw that MI-24P and Recon Helo coming over this way already, and I did a Bravo rush. Now, the intention of this rush is to completely and totally lock down this sector so that John Hawkwood never gets back into it, and if that's the case, you know, that +3 can tick for 10 minutes. Well, okay, not 10 minutes. 10 minutes I would be locked out of a win, but it can tick for a minute or two and not really be that big of an issue. I do get my own alpha cap now, so that's down to a +1, and I can just, you know, cap this, and if I have even a bit of a toehold in Foxtrot, then that gets real bad really quick for John Hawkwood. Now, I don't have that toehold, so the Corps Mariner here, I ran them away because I was expecting to get pushed out of that corner. Before I saw the Foxtrot cap, I thought that's where most of that push would go. It's usually how it is when you see something like an attack helicopter coming that far forward. But we're just gonna, you know, we're gonna sneak up a little bit. We're gonna use these Nechalf 106s that are definitely just worse Rover Wombats, but hey, I mean, that's Wargame. Everything is a worse Rover Wombat except for the Rover Wombats. And yeah, that's a good kill. Moat shoots them at 15 points apiece. That's not nothing. And the Corps Mariner, in the meantime, will come back here and just get a couple of things and then head out. At least that's the intention. We'll get a little bit more pressure going into the bottom of Foxtrot, because I was thinking right here that I like this. I don't mind the Alpha-Delta dynamic at the moment. I was trying to get this Verkenning through to get shots on the Foxtrot reinforcement line. But I really wasn't super comfortable with being locked out of Foxtrot for a very long amount of time. So Corps Mariner, by the way, versus Mochutsen, these guys are very, very nice. They have not the world's best primary and tertiary, but 15 strength elites will mess up infantry until and unless... Yeah, okay. Alright, so we're going to start running, but we're going to start running too late, and boom. Down to 5 men. Admittedly, the one that was barely alive is the one that was left, but, I mean, now my men will lose to Mochutsen, whereas before we were going to win that fight. So a well-timed plane from John Hawkwood, and I'm getting my CV over to Bravo, because I'd rather not make up for more tick than I have to, and to be frank, with the Verkenning all the way through here, with the Nechalfs up that far forward anyway, I thought, okay, maybe I can pressure in on a variety of angles and get something done, and maybe it won't be the end of the world. I mean, I do have this Tiger, I have reinforcements coming up this way already. We are going to be protecting the CV in Bravo, because, you know, I do this sneak all the time. I'm sure I've shown you guys how to pressure through here once or twice, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, but the point is I don't want to look over here and all of a sudden enemy infantry have killed my infantry CV in Bravo. So yeah, we'll not do that this time around and say that we didn't. Now, I have a Leopard Verkenning coming through this way, the Nechalf's pushing forward, and it does look like Hawkwood is expecting me here as I get 1 BMP, but this is also partially just a distraction. There's only 30 points really that I'm risking losing here, and yeah, I mean, I can get some kills with it maybe, and this was the main effort, was to push through here. Now, I do blow up some Speed Shell Alpha Clotter, but not enough, and to be honest, if I was going to push this Leopard through again, I would do it with infantry, because I had the time, I had the space, and can you imagine ever kenning the spot and something like Corps Mariner just working their way through? Now, I will also point out those are base Corps Mariner, and these are also base Corps Mariner. And you might wonder why I'm doing this. It's entirely because it is Dutch-German Corps Moto, and I can, and, you know, I want to use my Corps Mariner 95 where it really, really matters, where they're absolutely needed. And, well, getting bombed in the early game or taking bad engagements in the early game because I can't control the flow of the match is not not really. So, at least not to me. Now, we do pick up an Osa there, but there are some moat shoots in that are going to give me a little bit of a bad day. And, yeah, I'm keeping with the techno soundtrack just for right now. I do enjoy it, and you might notice I have kind of, I believe anyway, stopped asking for the whole like, share, subscribe thing as much. I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. If you go way back when to the first couple times I did it, I said it just made me feel scummy, and I would say from time to time, like, all that stupid YouTuber stuff, and I realized it was stupid and it's YouTuber stuff, and I was doing it anyway. And I don't like to do stupid things anyway, because they're stupid. I don't want to do them. So, yeah, anyway, that's that. But what I do want to do is show you guys this game as it progresses a little bit past a lag here. I was trying to get Deckensgruppe and some reinforcements up to the 2, and I don't like how many games on plunging revolve around fighting right here. It's like, oh, okay, let's just zoom in, let's just play right like this the entire time, and, you know, micro here can serve a huge benefit, and it can make the game, it can throw the game. We have the whole damn map, people, come on. Come on. So I wanted to do something a bit wider, but then when I struggled over there in Fox, I was sitting there going, well, best way to make up for this point total is to go for the 2 point, and I was sitting there going, ah, shit, I just did the thing. You know, I had all these grand intentions to play a moto deck and to go around and to play fast and play on the edges and play on the flanks, and I went for the 2 point. So, you know, it is what it is. It's not my favorite thing by far, I think we can say. Now, Deckensgruppe will always do very, very well here, trading excellently into moat shoots in the Corps Mariner, trying to get back as 1, 2 bombers do come in. Now, I don't know how many of these Hawkwood gets, but I think it's either 2 or 3. Shouldn't be more than that. And we take 1 down right there. And, you know, at least this would be cheap if it even cost me anything, and it doesn't, because 1, 2 dodges right there, just staying out of contact and staying away from where your opponent last saw you and expects you to go. So the Corps Mariner moved back farther than my opponent expected. And we were in Discord, as I said, and when that happened, he was just like, wait, really? They're still alive? Yep. Now, this is not the best micro. Yep, there it is. It took me a really long time to hit that BMP. Probably shouldn't have. I also should have had my mortar firing already, but my mortar micro was a little bit lax this game, and, you know, that will hurt over time. That will definitely be something that I feel, but for right now, we're trading okay. We're definitely trading okay. Could be, excuse me, sorry. Could be trading a bit better, but I've traded a lot worse. So that's artillery coming in, and if memory serves, this was Cluster looking for this YP408, and I was really nervous because I was sitting there going, okay, it looks like it might be a bit off target, and if I move, he knows I care, so he knows that it's a vehicle, right? If I don't move, then he might not know it's a vehicle, and he might think it's infantry if this doesn't kill it. And down to 5, down to 1, and alive on 1 strength, the YP408, just hero unit. And, you know, sometimes you get railed by RNG, and that's just how it goes, and there's nothing really you can do about it, and it's just, it's a little weird, it's a little uncomfortable, it's a little unfortunate. It's like, well, you know, this has been done to me and it worked and I lost, or I've done this to others and it worked and I won, and in this game, alive on 1, right? So that had to hurt, especially because getting this kill would have purchased that cluster arty that did it, and then everything after that's gravy. But as it is right now, it's going to cost me a resupply jeep that's already on the way. This VLKV MD Jupiter 20-point resupply will definitely heal this thing all the way up to full. That simple. It's not even a question, I know it will. And that will be enough to keep my 2-point capped. Now, I do have infantry going up toward Delta, and I want to show you guys in this game a bit of a cool spot that I learned a couple of weeks back when I discovered it when my opponent was doing it in that match, and I've tried it out since, and sometimes it can be a little unreliable, but I really I do have a spot where I like to put this CB now, so everyone who's watching my videos, because they're like, I'm gonna get that Black Knight guy, now know where to target all of their 10 HE, but it's over here. People don't expect you to have it so far up, but when you think about where most people advance, they advance through here, right? So this is actually the thicker part of woods, or they advance through here and you have more time. Now, it does complicate the retreat, because if you don't have smoke, you're not going to really be able to move back and forth here, because you do move through the open, and that's not ideal. But if you have smoke, you just smoke it off, walk back. It's not the end of the world. Now, this was a little bit goofy. I saw that BMP1, didn't want to march my Corps Mariner out there, and the ECR is coming out with a miss, and there we go. So those OSAs aren't the most expensive things, but you know, every bit that we can do to make my opponent have to repurchase his anti-air instead of other units, and just accrue value over time, maybe even make bombers or strike planes safe as time goes on. And there's the counter cap, +2, and it won't take all that long for me to recover that 114 points that John Hawkwood has up over me right now. We're taking 30 points a minute, 4 minutes at +2, and we are 120 points to 114. That was definitely my intention, but not a lot of action out of Hawkwood at this point in the game. There's been a couple of bombing runs a fair number of minutes ago, and this is the calm before the storm. And anytime you see just no movement in the mid-game, expect your opponent is building until they feel comfortable. And the second your opponent feels comfortable, you should not feel comfortable. So this starts coming in, and I think to myself, okay, well, he's probably going to be following this with a push. So when you see Artie like this, yeah, there's probably going to be a push afterward. It is HE. There's going to be a lot of sad Corps Mariner and some sad Deckens Grupa, and honestly, we get out of it pretty unscathed. It looked like it was centered a bit farther up than I was, just because I didn't really want to take that fight yet either. And yeah, look at this. All of that Artie just pounding directly ahead of my Corps Mariner. And, oh man. Oh no. Okay. There we go. I know it's already happened, but I just, you know, I clenched a little there because I was sitting there going, no, don't hit my stuff, please. So FJB into Corps Mariner. These are still base Corps Mariner. They don't have the DPS of their better Corps Mariner counterparts, the up-tech version, but FJB also don't have a tertiary, and this is where I made a bit of a mistake. You see these FJB, they're right at the edge of the forest, but they're in the forest. I should have moved back just a little and let them come out into the open, and we would have been dealing a lot more damage a lot more quickly, and then this is just brutal. SPW-70s have a very good gun, and yeah, this could have been such a nice engagement, and it just really wasn't. Yeah, 70 points down. I mean, getting a couple of shots in here, but I don't know, that was one of those where I really wish I'd done it a little bit better, a little bit smoother, and the FJB get away on 3 health. Or at least I think they do, so let's not peek too much. Yep. Oh, okay, we got him with the fire. Look at that. Well, I mean, the fire got him with the fire, but fire's working for me today, apparently. So now we do have the good Corps Mariner, and we're going to be microing that AT4 as best we can to deal with the SPW-70s here, but attention isn't always just on this section. So we got one, we're going to get the other 2 here in just a second. Ooh, bomber intercepted, and that is going to be really just accurate, because unlike the last time when I was moving away and it was a blind bomb, that one was not a blind bomb. That one was very much a, yep, I know where I'm going. And here we see, actually, Hawkwood made a mistake early on. There was no unload order queued on the Moatschützen, and so when I came in with that Peace Rhine, took out their BMP to prepare for these Corps Mariner, yeah, they're down to 1. So if this was unloaded, Moatschützen in the town, BMP probably up top, then when I get into the open, the BMP will shoot, the Moatschützen will shoot, and I'll take a lot of losses before I ever get into Foxtrot, which is important because I was not confident I could hold this. A lot of artillery coming in, BMPs, Moatschützen, just, this is a mech specialty right here, the Moatschützen and the BMPs behind it, and just, well, in front of it now, I suppose, but I mean, wow, right? Like 15-point shocks, just a lot of pain, and here just, you know, pulling back. Keep the CV infantry alive, why not? And live to fight another day, because this wasn't free for Hawkwood. And much as it sucks to get pushed out of that position, much as it sucks to lose the Corps Mariner and the Corps Mariner 85, you know, it could get worse, right? Always be an optimist, it could get worse. Or at least that's some form of optimism anyway. So what are we going to do? We're going to keep these AMX-13 FL-12s in a good spot for combat. We're going to engage here with these Führungstroop and decap Foxtrot, and that's going to get me a little bit of breathing room because it's going to get me the +1 tick that I need. It's also going to put pressure on Hawkwood to deal with these Corps Mariner, or just not be able to cap Foxtrot again, or at least not conveniently, because if he comes in here, well, then I know where it is. If it's not in the town, if it didn't come through the town and these guys are alive, then it's probably right in this forest band, and that gives me a small, constrained, well-known place to strike. Now, genteel gameplay, perhaps not, but yeah, that's Wargame for you. So, we have helicopters coming out, Corps Mariner engaging with FJB, a little bit of a micro mistake there, I think, from Hawkwood, as he was trying to deal with the Foxtrot zone decap, just putting him a little bit off balance, and I do want to say, you know, some people love sneaking, some people hate sneaking. What I can guarantee sneaking does, if successful, is it makes people think twice about what's going on, and that hesitation, that lack of coordination, can just straight out win you the game. So we also pick up that AA piece, and now this is getting really bad really quickly for Hawkwood, as you know, the trading is going to start to tell. I had a lot of points in planes with the Peace Shrine, with the Tornado ECR, with the KWS and all that, and now those planes have, you know, they've been bought. They've gotten some value, they've gotten some kills, and I'm buying on the ground again. So we're going to be able to get some work done here, and potentially even, because I have this Staff Einheit still alive, get back into the top of Delta, which at this point in the game, excuse me, sorry, man, I've been coughing for damn near a month, like 3 weeks. It's not 4 weeks, it's not a month, but goodness gracious, I go to record and I have a coughing fit, and I'm like, well, okay, not tonight, and it's like, well, fine, okay. One day I'll be free of coughing and life changes and all of the stuff, or you know what? That is just life, and you gotta learn how to roll with it, and I need to do a better job of that, because, yeah, there's always a reason, right? There's always a reason. So, we'll get the recordings done, we'll get the hobby in, we'll get these uploaded for you and to you guys, and we'll do that best that I know how, the best that I can. So what you see happening right now is I loaded up that Staff Einheit with the YP408, and we're preparing to retake Foxtrot, because I have recoilless rifle jeeps and grenadiers. Oh no, those are Corps Mariner, I suppose. But this is so goofy. It's like every time that you guys have seen me play against Haymaker, where he builds a push with Commonwealth Moto out of like 90 points, and it works. This is not that many points. Oh, they are grenadiers. Look at that. Moto veterancy. Yeah, 10-point lines, right? But I mean, hey, all I needed was something to get close enough for these LSTR to feel the need to engage, and we're going to give them more of an engagement than they can deal with. Also, Corps Mariner, be careful when you're approaching into this sign, because it's really, really brutal trying to get into that town again. You will, but by the time you get in, are you able to win the fight, right? So it's just a little bit rough. And then these BMP-1s, 10 points apiece, going to be picked up by the Corps Mariner as well, at least as long as I can, and this was a little unfortunate. Polish MiG allowed to engage with that KWS 1, 2, and no follow-up, because this thing only packs 2 long ranges, and that means I can actually get the kill. Fliegerfaust, KWS engaging, even panic, this thing has decently high accuracy, second plane kill, and that is just heartbreak for Red 4 in this match, because, I mean, that should have been a nice pickup, right? And you hate to see the ones that really should have been nice pickups not work out that way. So, 17 PF coming in here with Fabs, and I was going to try to avoid it, right? But it's just a tad too late, and I flipped buildings a bit too soon, and so right there as I flipped buildings, I actually got out in the open, because Eugen and the bombs land right on top. So the Foxtrot infiltration is done, but I'm still ticking +1 because Fox is decapped. We're getting back into the low side here, or at least maybe a little bit eventually, probably, maybe. But I mean, up 150 to 114 on tick, the pressure is no longer on me to push this zone. Now, the shoe is on the other foot. Red has to shake me loose from Bravo or get into Alpha. And that's the first time it's been that way in the first 20 minutes of this match. It's just, it's really a game-defining thing to be able to put the need for initiative on your opponent instead of yourself. And I know people will say, why the hell did you quad stack your mortars? And the answer is that, well, I was going to use them a lot, and it's still a bad idea, and then I forgot about them, and they've sat here for a while. But anyway, I think a lot of people talk about initiative, and initiative is great, but if initiative costs you trading, and it costs you board position just because you're trying to give your opponent not enough time to do their own thing, that can be, you know, something other than what you want, shall we say. And on the other hand, Well, I guess what I'm driving for, and sorry, this is really awkwardly phrased. I don't know. Usually I'm much more easily eloquacious than this, but I'm struggling. I'm really, really struggling on this one. I think it's a combination of both initiative and map control, because initiative, well, I guess even though it doesn't have to look like me doing a reckless push into Delta. It can be me just maintaining enough presence on the front line to prevent my opponent from really getting through with their plans. So instead of withdrawing back and letting them get in and dealing with it with artillery and, longer term planning, oh, there they are. Thank you, IP408s. This is beautiful stuff. Shredding infantry in the open. I love it. But here, I know that Hawkwood wants in, and so I'm going to do my best to not give him the time to build up a push here, because he still might be able to, and there's more than enough time for that push to be successful. And, well, I mean, that push being successful would mean that I have then gone from losing this game to winning this game, and we're doing a lot of back and forth here today, but from losing to winning to losing again, and, yeah, well, so... Goodness gracious sakes alive. I guess what I'm trying to say is that there are a lot of theories around what makes you win. I have mine. John Hawkwood has his. I've heard a lot. And the most common one, in my opinion, is, take initiative. Always take initiative. And I feel like most every this is how you win that I've heard is, at best, a simplification, and at worst, just completely off base. Or misleading. And misleading is worse, right? And, I don't know, I post these videos, I hope they're helpful for people if you're struggling with something, but I post them because I enjoy it, not because I want to say, this is how you win on plunging, or this is how you win on punch bowl, or whatever the hell it is. I think that defines your playstyle, right? How you want to play to bring out the most in your units, how you want to play that gets you the most out of every game, that gives you the wins that feel the best, that are the most comfortable, that are the least one-sided, right? And oh man, that was greedy. That was really greedy. So the second I saw that command tank, I'm just like, okay, no. We're gonna go in, we're gonna kill this. I have Nick Hoffs here, I have TPZ Fuchs, I have Declan's group of Fallschirmjäger 90, finally making their appearance. This is Dutch-German Moto, and, I was just saving these guys. Now we've killed some of the bombers. The artillery is a little bit exhausted here for Echo. It's overtasked, there's too much going on. These falls are gonna have a much easier time than they would have if I had sent them in earlier just to get bombed and then my stock of them to be depleted. But unfortunately, evac ordered, I was not able to keep track of that T-72K1. We got a shot on it with the Verkenning pushing that up, and a second Peace Rhine coming in to seal the deal. So we get that, even if it costs us the ECR, which 1, 2, and we should be out. There we are. It would have been worthwhile, because this is the worst thing that could possibly happen to John Hawkwood right now in this game. It's just, okay, he decided to not go back into Foxtrot after he got the kill there on my Core Mariner. He wanted to instead pressure into Alpha, and now the opposite's happening, and I'm just taking this, and we're going forward, and we're trying to exploit what I think is the better trading that I've been having at least the last 10 minutes of this game, if not the entirety of it. To just say, hey, no, this is mine, you can't have it. If you can't have your own Delta, then you can't have Alpha, clearly. And that gives me time also to cap in Foxtrot so that we just start ticking again. Why not? It actually was really goofily timed because I'm capped here and Hawkwood has just finally recapped over in Foxtrot. But the reason I said he decided Delta instead of Fox is because he's given up about 7 or 8 minutes worth of tick he otherwise could have had if he'd gone right for it first instead of... Oh, jeez. I know. Instead of trying to build up in Delta first. And this is a little bit of a plane train here. Tornado ECR, double Peace Rhine, KWS. Don't worry, it doesn't stay free for very long, because I can never keep that sort of thing for free. But we're going to go up, we're going to try and get the kill on those OSAs, and they are just base OSAs. Oh, man. Can't see them. Sorry if I'm a little, here, there, and everywhere today. I'm just, man. You ever have those days where you just try and do your normal stuff, and it just feels like... I don't know, it feels faster for some reason, right? That's what I'm getting right now, and yeah, I hope it doesn't botch it too bad. So, H64 Escort moving up, Milan 2 here. The Verkenning is back because we took a little bit of a beating, and at this point, I had only really intended to call in more infantry, get up into these woods in Delta, and then just wait for my opponent to throw in the towel. And the fact that he hasn't yet was kind of interesting. I mean, there are people that play it out to time no matter what. And then there are also some people that, man, triple stack of Osas. There are some people that will surrender the moment they think that they can't get back in. And both of these, I think, have their time and their place. And they're not time and they're not place. And this one was fine. We were hanging out, enjoying a nice friendly, and that's where you learn, is this actually as bad as I think it is? Is this recoverable or not? How many peace shrines can I fly directly over enemy AA before I realize that I'm going to lose both of them that way for 0 return? Things like that are best done outside of ranked and with opponents that will, well, maybe not be thrilled by it, but at least understand that you're looking for that sort of game. So, I'm not really bothered at all by this, and you can see you only have about 2 minutes or so left, and, you know, to be honest, I'm not entirely sure what made the difference here, because the most dynamic move was me moving back into Delta, well, at least in the mid-late game, right? I guess some of this, I am pushing into Foxtrot, but there's FJB here, there's Osas. Oh man, that triple stack of Osas is just, it's been chased by Deccan's Grupa, been chased by Nekaf. Oh, come on. Boom. Look at that. Last shot, the last shot this Nekaf had just kills another Osa. Yeah. Okay, I guess I can see it. Like, there's stuff getting in here. There's the CV infantry, which means I know where it is. The fact that I know where it is means that I know how to try and kill it, so I guess this is more pressure than we were at a couple of minutes ago, so let's just get through here. As more of these reinforcements come through, and my Deccan's Grupa are going to have a very, very nice time taking one of those out before these FJB get in and get in healthy. So, you know, I don't expect them to win this fight, but each SPW80 is 15 points. Those guys paid for themselves. I'm up 10 points on that trade, not even including the damage to the FJB, so yeah, it does look like John Hawkwood learned from that. Oh man. No, this was crazy. They just kept going back and forth. You guys saw that, right? They're like, just allergic to getting in the town. Let's go back, let's go forward, and let's all be dead. I could not get those guys into the town for the life of me. Holy cow. Ah, man. Anyway, that's going to be all we've got for you guys here today as the match does wind down before I can get a cap into Delta. And, well, thank you all for hanging around, and we'll see you again real soon.